going on YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here at WILDMAN Lifts. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now in today's episode, I'm going to be working out in the backyard on a beautiful day. It is absolutely extraordinary out here. I'm going to be doing the back squat today. I've added those chains, which, as I explained before, it's a method of training, not necessarily a true 1 rep max. But I'm going to be working up to a heavy single today, so we're going to see how that goes. And as I'm going through my workout today in giant set format, I'm also going to be discussing whether nicotine pouches are actually beneficial for athletic performance or not. And again, I'm not a doctor or a medical professional, so don't take my advice for it, but I'm going to give you my opinions. So let's pop into today's workout, see what we got going on. Now for today's strength giant set, I'm going to be doing the back squat, and I've added those chains on there. And the idea is it's going to be a lot heavier on the top than it is at the bottom of the lift because those chains decompress it to the ground. But as they rise from the bottom, it gets a lot heavier to the top. Great training tool. And as I'm going up the weight, I'm also going to be doing some pull-ups because pull-ups is a great way to stretch out my spine. It also primes my back for the back squat. And some mountain climbers. Great chest stabilizer, great conditioning tool, and it also destroys your abs and your legs as well. That's going to be the strength giant set for the day. There's a negative stigma that goes around about nicotine because it's in cigarettes, cigars, which tobacco has been a leading cause to cancer. And since nicotine is a substance that keeps people coming back to cigarettes and cigars, it also has a negative stigma. And although that it's highly addictive, scientists have actually extracted nicotine and have just created its own pouch. And a lot of elite athletes around the world claim that it helps them with their athletic performance. Even most recently, the world's strongest man, Mitchell Hooper, actually says that he uses a little bit of nicotine pouches just before his heavy sets at the gym. But the question is, does it really actually help or work? Because there's scientific data that's out there from all across the world from a lot of respected scientists, and they have conflicting views. Some say that it helps fight dementia and Alzheimer's, and it helps athletic performance. On the con side, a lot of respected scientists also say that nicotine doesn't really do much. It's just a habitual thing, and an habitual thing is what a lot of elite athletes do in order to help their performance. Basically, it's like equivalent to on their heavy set days if they ate pancakes and they considered pancakes to be helping them perform better on their heavy lifting days, when really just pancakes is just a habitual thing that they do prior to get their brain ready for that heavy lift. That's why you see a lot of baseball stars use sunflower seeds or gum in order to try to stimulate their brain in a habitual manner in order to get their brain ready for game day. Now, my personal opinion is this. I do use nicotine pouches, and I feel like ever since I started using it, I do feel like that my performance is actually increasing. So I don't know if that is an habitual thing or if it is actually the nicotine, but I will tell you this. I do use nicotine pouches. I like nicotine pouches, and I have observed within my own strength training progress that I am progressing in my numbers and in my athletic performance. So that's just my opinion on the matter. Alrighty, so not too shabby. I believe that's 390 pounds on the bar. And then the chains that actually decompress to the ground is 40 pounds total. So that's 430 pounds at the top of the lift. So really good. I decided not to wear a knee sleeve today because the goal was to hit this for one. And I kind of felt like it was going to be a little too easy with the knee sleeve. So I decided to take away the knee sleeve. So I gave myself a little bit more of a challenge. And I'm glad I did that. That definitely felt like the appropriate amount of weight on that knee. Just like I'm doing with the deadlift series, Road to 500, I'm doing the same thing with the back squat. I'm kind of just starting small and working my way up every single week, even if it's too easy. So this was the appropriate amount of weight today. Now we're going to jump into something else. So let's pop in and check that out. Now for the variation giant set, I wanted to isolate those single legs. So I'm doing the Bulgarian split squat, but I've added some weight to it with those kettlebells to make sure it's more weight on each leg. And my wife just got me a belt squat attachment for my rack, which is coming soon. So you're going to be seeing that on my channel. So stay tuned for that. And I just kept in the same format as the strength giant set by doing those mountain climbers and doing those pull-ups as well, just to land on a nice even number. And hey, these are so good for your body. Now for the assistance giant set, I was doing 3 rounds and I was doing box jumps because one of the greatest exercises you could do for your legs is the box squat, especially after you lifted heavy and your body doesn't want to jump or use its legs anymore. And then I kept in the same format as the other ones with the mountain climbers and with the pull-ups because that was the only way that I was going to land on that nice even number. And I'm crazy like that. Now for the accessory giant set, just to finish everything off, I was doing some horizontal bicep curls just to kind of hit the biceps in a different way since it took a beating from all those pull-ups. And then I did some hitchhikers, which you've seen before. I always do some type of face pull variation, and this is one of them. And I was doing some side steps with a really heavy band, trying to hit those inner thighs. And as I'm balancing on each leg as I switch sides, really isolates the leg a whole lot better and finished off the workout very nice. Alrighty, so that's going to conclude it for today's workout. Hope that everybody learned something new and that you might try some new things now that you've been informed about some of my opinions. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.